to A Well-Designed Business. My name is LuAnn Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. Today is another episode of What Would Lu Do? On these episodes, I answer your questions. So if you're not working with a coach and you don't have a business mentor, or maybe you have a business bestie, but they're stumped too, where do you go for these answers? Well, you can email me your questions and I'll answer them here on air. So send your questions to LuAnnNigara.com/WWLD. What would Lu do? My great thanks to Kirsch for sponsoring the show. You know, now is the time to sharpen your skills, and why not start with your window treatment skills? Window treatments are a valuable add-on to your bottom line, especially when you custom design to your client's space and you select trade fabrics, such as from our other sponsor, Kravit. Window treatments are a fantastic profit center that are hard to Google and compare price. So, and you know that every beautiful drape needs a great drapery rod to go with it. So Kirsch's Briza motorized collection of rods is the perfect answer to high-end drapery window treatments. Go to Kirsch.com today and find your local distributor. Order your catalogs and brush up on your knowledge so that you can confidently specify the most detailed window treatments for your next client. That's KIRSCH.com. All right, now, this is an email from Samantha. And she says, "Hi, LuAnn. Firstly, thank you for offering this at such a testing and trying time for everyone. I can imagine you are also feeling the impacts of COVID-19 at the moment, and your generosity is really admirable." And I have to say, well, thank you, Sam, but I have to say I love doing what I do, so I'm so happy to do it, and I'm just glad that it's helping. And in regard to the trying time of COVID-19, you're right. It is hard. It is hard for me in our business as well. But just like you guys, I'm putting one foot in front of the other and getting it done. So here are Sam's questions. She had 3. The first question: I work mostly in hospitality design, but also some residential design. I've had all 10 of my current projects put on hold, 9 hospitality and 1 residential. The hospitality projects in particular, I think even once life goes back to normal, may take a while to come back from this and maybe take a while to be able to start again. All right. She says, do you have any suggestions on how at this time I could try to get income in? Naturally, I'm feeling like I should pivot towards residential design, but firstly, how would you suggest I promote myself at this time, especially because I don't have a large audience? I've only been in business 6 months. And apart from getting new residential clients, do you have any other ways you would suggest getting income in? So, Sam, I'm sorry I'm going to be a little bit of a politician here because I'm not going to answer most of the questions that you asked. Did you ever see that and you watch the news and they ask a politician a question and he goes on for 20 minutes and you're like, but you didn't answer the question. So I'm going to avoid some of these questions, not because I don't think they're good questions, but I'm wondering, without the opportunity to speak to you, if there isn't something else in here that I might be able to address that may be of a little bit more value to you. Okay. So the first thing is, I will address from your questions is, if you are presently with 9 hospitality and 1 residential, I don't think I would change gears and lean into residential right now. I really don't. And I hear you that you think that they may be longer to start up again, the hospitality, but I have been hearing in circles that many of the hospitality places are actually doing the redesign and decoration now while their facilities are empty. Now, of course, that's not every facility. Lots of people are not able to have any clients or any gatherings or whatever's happening in their business, but there are some that are flush with capital and are taking this opportunity to do the things that would normally inconvenience their patrons. So this is why, for these reasons, I just want you to think about those two things. And now I'm going to answer the questions that you didn't ask. All right. And in order to answer the question that you didn't ask, I am going to make an assumption that since you're in business just 6 months, that you may be in a little different situation than many of us that have a full staff, office or studio space that we're paying rent or mortgages on, and all the things that go into having a well-established business have the brakes put on it, right? So if I make this assumption, and even though I 100% agree how horrible it is to have 10 projects on hold at one time, I'm going to take a stretch of a leap here and say that maybe you can weather it for the time being, okay? And so rather than leaning into changing a direction from hospitality to residential and trying to make money there, I want to say two things. Number one, I'm going to first assume also that you've done everything you can to let each of your clients know that there are many steps that the two of you can be taking to move the project along, right? Samples can be sent and approved, quotes can be pulled together. There are things that can happen. So if you haven't done that, then I would encourage you to do that with those current projects, all right? But beyond that, what I'd like you to think about is what's going to happen when those 10 projects are done. Right? So you're only 6 months in business. So that means, hats off for having 10 projects in your first 6 months of business. But we don't have longevity here where there's a big pipeline of referrals and people who have done business with you that we can count on for the future. Okay? So what I would like you to turn your attention to while you're at a standstill is building business for after those 10 projects. Because so often, solo business owners in particular fall prey to this, but all of us fall prey to, when we are busy working in our projects, we've got our head down. And, especially if you're going to be there with 10 projects that are all going to ramp up and come together at one time, possibly, even if 4 were to launch up at the same time when this is over, that's very busy. And so what happens is I get worried that you get busy during that time period and then you complete those and your head has been down so long working on those that you haven't done anything to create the projects after that. And so what I would say to you now is spend that time creating the framework, the basis, the foundation for your marketing, right? That will take your firm beyond this, okay? So maybe you want to make a series of videos about your business, teach your perspective in hospitality design, share your aesthetic, share what it is that you bring unique to hospitality design. Maybe you want to write blog posts about hospitality design and whatever it goes with writing blog posts about hospitality design, right? How about you spend time getting your Pinterest working for you? You see, because I have interviewed several people on Pinterest and I have yet to be able to really truly task anybody on my team with creating a very intentional Pinterest marketing campaign. And the crazy thing is about once a week, I say to myself, if you would just do that, LuAnn, you would probably really fast track your email list, okay, and have more people on it. But you see, we're all so busy feeding and doing all of the marketing that's already in place. And so it's hard to do it while you're busy. So I would say, if it were me, I would really understand Pinterest and I would create the body of work on my website that when I spend time learning Pinterest, I can now create a marketing plan and a strategy for the next 12 months that will support building my pipeline while I'm busy in those 10 projects once they launch up again. Okay. So that's what I would love to see you do. All right. And we've had several shows on Pinterest. So to get started on that, I would go to episode number 292, Summer Tannhauser, number 331 with Kate All, and number 487 with Vanessa Shepard. Okay. Each of these women share strategies for Pinterest. And of course, keep in mind, Pinterest, like all platforms, the information and the tactics and the strategies are always changing, evolving. So some of these shows are a year, 2 years old. So take the best parts out of them. And, some of the guts of them are always going to be good. The strategies, the campaigns, the setting up the work processes, right? But that's what I would do, Sam, if I were you. All right. And if you need information on creating video content for your website, you have these episodes, number 20 with Ariane Belazar, number 201 with Dorian Morin Van Dam, number 237 with Claire Jefford, and number 516 with Jude Charles. All right. Now, question number 2. Sam says, I'm also taking this opportunity to work on my processes and systems. What would your top 10 systems be that you think I should put into place? Well, again, Sam, I'm going to say this is a very big question, okay? Because right away, off the top of my head, I go to, your bookkeeping system. That means you have to nail your whole process for finances down. Do you know how to do QuickBooks? Do you have a workflow with your bookkeeper where you have regular accountability schedules in your calendar? And how about with your CPA? Do you have monthly meetings with your CPA and quarterly and yearly? And it means, do you have established a daily, weekly, and monthly routine with monitoring your bank account and all of the things connected to it? So bookkeeping is one thing, but all the things that go into it are another. The second thing that comes to my mind is that you should review or create a solid contract. Do you have a solid contract? If not, do you need to meet with your lawyer? Do you need to hire a lawyer? All right. Protect yourself with your clients, your vendors, and your trades. And the third thing that comes to my mind is your design workflow in general. Okay. Do you have a system in place for this? This includes everything from your intake call to that discovery call with the client to the design proposal to the design presentation, your initial consult, your consult follow-up, signing the contract, creating a welcome package, how we work, page or document, your project timeline, how do you execute and expedite orders, including the ordering of them, the status checks, the invoicing, the receiving. What about your install process? Is that described in detail? And how about your closeout process with both the client and your internal closeout process where you do the autopsy of the project for profitability, right? So you can see that I've listed 3 systems here, not 10, that I really think that you should be working on. And what I would say to you, Sam, is if you don't have these 3 things formally established, okay, and you don't have them written down, like I could walk into your studio right now and you could hand me a handbook and say, LuAnn, here is my workflow process with my bookkeeper. Here is my contracts are all up to snuff. And here's my workflow process from hello to goodbye on every single project. Then I would say start with those 3 and forget about 7 others. Okay. Because what I know is if you have these in your head, but nowhere else, then I've just tasked you legitimately with probably 20 to 40 hours of solid, dedicated, detailed, tedious work. All right. So, Sam, if all 3 of these are done to completion, email me again and I'll give you the next 3 that I think are important. Okay. And I would say, too, if you haven't done it, when you sit down to do it, it can be a little intimidating because you don't realize how much goes into truly enunciating each process. So I would suggest for a little help, do 2 things. First thing is on my website at LuAnnNigara.com, there is a quiz that you can take. It says, what level is your design firm? All right. And when you take this quiz, your answers will determine if you are a #baby designer a hashtag rising designer or a hashtag seasoned designer. And the really cool thing is, once the quiz gives you your result, it also gives you, for each of these levels that you are in your business, it gives you a list of things that I think you should do by the end of that first day when you get the results, by the end of that first week, and by the end of that first month. Okay. And it also gives you a list of what I believe are the top 5 episodes for you to make sure that you heard based on where you are in your business journey. So I think that would be very helpful for you, Sam, to do that quiz and to get that feedback and those resources. All right. And then the second thing I would say to do, Sam, is to listen to Sarah Brennan's episode number 514 and listen to Christine Lynn's episode number 470, okay? The reason why is in Sarah's episode, she tells you a lot about how she created her process and how she came to get her business so well organized, okay? And the reason, so that's helpful because it's tactical. And then the other reason, the other show I want you to listen to is Christine Lynn's episode number 470, because if there is no other motivation than like the results that she achieved for getting your processes in place, I don't know what would be. Christine Lynn, what she accomplished in her first year in business, and she literally attributes to the back end work that she put into her business, and also some of the learning lessons that she had along the way that she sort of did but didn't lock all the way down. I just find that it's a very good episode to get the perspective on it's worth doing the hard work. Okay? All right. And Sam has a third question. She says, as I don't actually have any active projects at the time, do you suggest I try to look busy on social media, or is that just silly? It is hard to know at this point if seeming busy is attractive to potential clients or not. So Sam, my answer to this would be, really, how would a potential client know the difference, right? How do they know if you're just looking busy or you are busy, right? This is where, like so many times, what we do is we get stuck in our own head. We put words, ideas, and thoughts into the mouths of other people. We attribute ideas and thoughts to other people, okay? So what I mean is, as long as you don't say things like, I'm posting this pic from last year because I have no pics, who's going to know, right? Why do we automatically assume that a client would look at your Instagram feed and think, oh, she's just trying to look busy? I mean, I don't know. Is Kelly Wersler trying to look busy? Like, I don't know. Maybe she's in Barbados for a month and a half and her Instagram is moving. And guess what? Then she's trying to look busy, right? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, you're thinking about it too hard, right? Because the thing is that most people don't pay nearly as close attention to us as we think they do, right? If someone comes across your feed and they see a pretty picture, that's what they're coming there for, and that's what they're going to see, and they're going to be rewarded with it. So, and if you have to post some other work, there are clever ways, the Throwback Thursday way. And, I've seen a lot of things recently on Instagram with designers saying things like, looking forward to when I can, be together with this client, again, and blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can be creative, and mention that it's a memory or it's a list or it's a that, or you can just leave it out altogether and tell me something in the picture to look at. So you might have posted the picture 4 months ago, but if I see it today, I don't know that I'm going to remember it. And if you're specifically saying in the caption, hey, check out this XYZ detail on this kitchen that I did, I'm going to look at the kitchen. I'm not going to think beyond it, right? So, and I also want to give you a tip for this particular answer as well, Sam. I want you to listen to Wingnut Social Podcast, because Darla Powell, I know, will have multiple episodes for how to purposefully create a social media presence, whether or not you have a huge body of work to work with or not. Okay. So that's Wingnut Social Podcast. If you're not already subscribing, please do subscribe and search her queue. I'm sure she has several shows that will help you in this regard. So the answer is yes. post on social media to drum up business while you're not busy. And then also tying it back to my first answer to you, if you do take me seriously and you do start to create quality content, blog content, video content, whatever it is, now you can repurpose that in your social media and have them click back to your website, right? All righty. Thank you tons, Sam, for all of your questions. I appreciate it. It was fun answering them. I hope they were helpful. And also thank you tons to Article. Did you know that Article is uniquely positioned right now to help you with quick one-off projects that you might be fielding now as a bridge to the projects that you have on hold? And Sam, that is another option. You certainly could lean into doing one-off consultations virtually, all right? And if you have been doing some of these one-off virtual consults for clients because of quarantine, when you set up your trade account at welldesigned.article.com, you can source Scandinavian-inspired mid-century furniture for home offices, dining rooms, living rooms, even outdoor spaces that can be delivered to your client in days, not weeks, not months. This turnaround is exactly the kind of fast, instant gratification that so many people need right now, right? So many people are in their homes and they're looking around and they can't figure out where the kids are going to do their homework and the parents are going to work from home, or they're looking at their backyard thinking, if we're going to be here for another month or so, I need some furniture. I need to make this place feel good, right? So welldesigned.article.com. And you know that they have their amazing white glove delivery program that I'm sure that your client would accept to their garage right now for no contact delivery, okay? And what I love is you know that the packaging and the delivering is all going to be on brand for you. It's going to be a nice experience, okay? So as an interior designer, you can recommend and you can order this and not worry about like the guy's going to throw it from the truck from the street, okay? So thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to the show and you're enjoying it, welcome. Tell a friend. Maybe leave a review on iTunes, okay? I'd love to know what aha moment you've had. And so many people have shared their aha moment with me through the iTunes review. And if you do that, I'd be very grateful. And I'm going to close by saying, I hope that you and your loved ones are safe. And I'm also going to close by saying, if you are homeschooling your kids, I hope you're staying sane. Decide to be excellent. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks, your resource for custom window treatments and awnings. To learn how we can help you on your next interior design project, go to www.windowworks-nj.com. And if you're interested in working with me on your business, either through masterminds or one-on-one coaching, or you want to know how to get my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, or you just want to know what's going on in the podcast land and where I'm going to be, all of that is found at LuAnn'sNigara.com. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.